Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-August 2024 love reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and a gap spread. And the way it works is I look at the past, present, future energies between you and the main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards as well with some additional insight, and that's what the bridge and a gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Bath Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's their way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Alright, past energy on your side, we have the Six of Arrows. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. And usually it represents an energy of moving to calmer waters, right? Which usually means that maybe there was some kind of conflict that might have taken place in the past. But with this deck in particular, it always stands out to me how we see there's 5 arrows in the boat, right? Instead of the 6 that we're used to seeing. So to me, that could just be pointing out that there might be a thought in your part, or again, this was the past energy. So in the past, maybe you thought that you were healed from something, right? So you might have approached it with the right intention, but at the same time, there might have still been something underneath the surface that wasn't resolved yet. So whether that was from a previous connection not related to this person, but you were still bringing that baggage with you, or was directly related to this person, that's how I see it playing out in the past. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the Ten of Wands. So yeah, this could just be saying that this might have been someone who had a lot going on in their lives, right? So when I see the Metropolitan sign there, to me, it makes me think of someone that, let's say, maybe they travel a lot, right? So, okay, maybe they come to see you every now and again, but at the same time, maybe they're also traveling a lot for work, things along those lines. So maybe that's part of what was bothering you, right? So maybe you felt like, okay, there was too much inconsistent energy within the connection, so that could have been how it was playing out for some of you. But if that's the case, it does seem like this person just legitimately did have a lot going on in their lives. Alright, present energy on your side, we have the Six of Coins. So this is actually Taurus energy here, and if we look at the artwork here, we see that facial expression. They definitely don't look all that happy with what's being offered, right? And we see the snow in the background, which makes us think back to the Five of Coins or the Five of Pentacles energy, which often represents an energy of feeling left out in the cold, right? Going through a rough stretch with someone. So yeah, this could just be saying, so again, let's go with the same theme that we were talking about and build on it a little more. So let's say this is someone that you were connected with, but maybe they traveled a lot and that bothered you, right? You were hoping that you could spend more time with them, but ended up not being the case. And then let's say that maybe they wrap up a busy period within their work, right? They come back around, maybe they come back and buy a gift for you, something like that, right? But now you're feeling like, well, I'm not really happy with that because I would have rathered your time in the past, right? So that could be one way the situation was playing out between you. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Four of Wands. So yeah, so obviously we see a reduction from the Ten of Wands to the Four now, right? So, and usually you think of reduction, oh, that's not a good thing, but obviously we could see the energy in this deck that seems to be an improvement, right? The Four of Wands usually points to growth, expansion, fulfillment, happiness. And if we look at the artwork here, right, it looks definitely like a committed partnership. So could just be saying that, again, like I said, maybe they had a busy period within their careers where they couldn't really put much energy toward the connection, but now it seems like they are coming in wanting to put energy toward the connection. And again, it seems like maybe you still have that resentment from the way it was going in the past. So now, even though that was what you wanted all along, now that it's coming your way, you might like have some resentment toward them that wasn't expressed. And that could be why there's a conflict in the energy now. All right, future energy on your side, we have the Ace of Staves, Oppression, which is the equivalent of the Tower, and the Eight of Staves. So, bit of a layered energy here. Well, for one, we see Eight of Staves, so this was the Sag energy on their side in the past, and we see another Wand energy here. And then with the Oppression, right, it makes me think back to we were talking about how the Six of Arrows often represents moving to calmer waters, right? And we could see the artwork here is quite the opposite of calm waters, right? If we look at the facial expression of the person, if I can get it to focus, there we go. They definitely don't look all that happy, right? So it could just be one of those things where, let's say you have that tower moment, right? Where maybe if you do realize that, okay, hey, this person really did have a lot going on, so I was disappointed that they weren't putting energy toward the connection during that time. Then they come back around when they are done with that, and the first thing they do is try to restore the balance with me, but I was still harboring the resentment from the past, right? And now, like, okay, because I didn't look at that resentment I might have been holding, right? Did I miss an opportunity? So it looks like that could actually spark you to action to where now, or again in the near future, you will actually try to reopen the lines of communication with this person. So yeah, it looks like you could just have a type of realization around a situation where you might view it from a different perspective. And if that's the case, it could just be pointing to the Mercury retrograde energy that we're in right now. All right, future energy on their side, we have the Sun. So yeah, this definitely, of course, Leo is ruled by the Sun. We could see there's some pretty direct Leo type energy and symbolism in this card. So it could just be pointing to the timeline, right? Saying that as we move through Leo season, maybe this person's going to be in the spotlight in some way. And yeah, so maybe that's part of what it is too, right? Maybe for whatever reason you see them somewhere that you weren't necessarily expecting to cross paths with them, and then it jogs your memory back to, okay, did I actually handle the situation in the past the right way? So yeah, it could just be one of those things. Now, in a more positive sense, this could just be saying that, hey, if you do express to them, hey, I'm sorry about the way I handled things in the past, it would be received well, right? And then for others of you, it could just be saying that, if you did blow your opportunity and then you see him in the spotlight, that could cause regret in you, right? Like, oh, okay, I let this good thing go away because I was harboring this resentment that I never really expressed. All right, and bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Five of Arrows. So yeah, like I said, in this deck in particular, the fact that we see just the 5 arrows in the boat instead of all 6 makes me think of the Five of Arrows energy, which is usually, again, like we said, usually it's engaging in an energy where you engage in a conversation knowing that there's not really anything positive that's going to come out of it, right? But it's more of like an ego driven type of situation. And with the artwork here, we see the angelic figure looks like they're like leaving this situation behind, right? Where they're like, well, if you're going to just, engage in this Five of Arrows energy when we're doing the work behind the scenes to get this connection back on track, then we're out here. That's kind of what this makes me think of. And if we see she happens to be holding 3 arrows too, which makes you think of the Three of Swords energy, right? So for a lot of you, I feel like this is saying that this really is just some unhealed wound that you guys might have had. Again, for some of you, maybe directly related to this connection, or for others of you, like I said, maybe this was baggage you brought into this connection, not realizing that you hadn't really truly resolved it. So I feel like it could just be coming back up to the surface for you guys to look at. All right, and bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Eight of Swords. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that ultimately, so let's say, like we said, if they come back around in the present, they really do try to get balance restored in a connection, but you give them that cold, icy demeanor around the whole thing, right? That might lead them to just think that the connection's over. Here we look at the artwork. It looks like an artwork where the person's mourning, right? So they might take you coming across that way. And again, like I said, where it just seems like you're just harboring a resentment, and rather than actually communicate around it, if you come across that way in like a passive aggressive manner, right, this person might take it as, oh, I guess this connection's over. Yeah, it could definitely be the case because beneath that we see the Death card too. So obviously this person doesn't look happy in that energy, right? So I don't think this is saying that they'd be happy to think the connection's over. But if that's the energy you're giving them because you were like harboring a resentment, then not too surprising if that's the outcome that comes from it, right? We'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. I know it sounds pretty negative. I don't think it really is, but I just think that, again, this is what's sparking these situations. But yeah, first we'll see what we get from the messages of Oracle card deck. I'm just going to pull a single card here. Alright, so I'm just going to put this deck down, and just give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll pull a card. Okay, we'll take this card. And next, what we'll do is we'll pull a single card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck as well. So same situation, just going to pull a single card, then we'll read the messages from both cards and wrap the reading up with that. Alright, so I'm just going to put this deck down for a second, and just let me tune in, and we'll pull a card from this deck as well. Okay, we'll take this card, and let me get this out of the way. And we'll take a look at the Messages of Love Oracle card deck first. Alright, we have Obsession. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. It says, someone in this connection is gripped by obsessive thoughts. So interesting message there, right? Because I will say it doesn't necessarily seem like obsessive thoughts on either side. It does look like there's genuine interest here. And again, like I said, it seems like for you it's just more of not an obsessive thought, but more of like subconscious things going on your side, right? But yeah, if that's something you're constantly thinking about, like, oh, you know, if you feel like this person just wasn't putting effort toward the connection, but then, you know, there's reason behind it, and you come to that realization, and that could be maybe what you keep replaying in your mind there. All right, and from the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have Never Ending Story. There's the artwork, and the number is 37. All right, the relationship message says, sometimes your heart enters into a contract with another that results in pain, not because of abuse or neglect, but for other, more complex reasons. Shame, fear of intimacy, and low self-esteem are the greatest challenges to the success of a relationship. Consider how valuable this knowledge is, however. Right now, you have an opportunity for important healing, but you must reflect on the stories you weave about love, connection, abandonment, rejection, and loneliness. Not only do you need to begin a new story, you need to forgive yourself for telling yourself the old ones. Have compassion for the part of you that believes all those narratives. None of them were ever true anyway. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. And you know, like I said, I know this sounds a little bit harsh in some ways, the reading, but all right, well, think about it. The example I could give you is the Olympics is still going on right now. And think about like if a pro athlete gets hurt, right? And then they have the access to the best trainers, best doctors, and then they're all convinced, yeah, this person's totally healed, and then they go back out there and they re-aggravate the injury, right? So same thing there in the spiritual community. A lot of times people will swear like, nope, totally healed from that thing. It's never going to come back up again, but it's still there, right? So it could just be one of those things where, you know, it might come to light for you guys to resolve once and for all. So hope it ever resonates for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.